surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1997. A very good year. Shake It Up Saturday. Yes, we're changing it up a little bit. We're not talking genealogy. Well, kind of, sort of talking genealogy, but not really. So how has your day gone? What have you done today to shake it up? Is when you do something out of the norm that sort of like rocks your world a little bit, and you come up away with these great ideas, epiphanies, whatever. You get the little creative buzz going. It's just something out of the norm that you don't normally do. So you're shaking it up because you're not doing your routine day. So we had a Shake It Up Saturday today. It's still going, but it is super exciting today. We got up, went for our walk, came back, had breakfast. That was all pretty normal. Got some work done, which was work I had to do for a project I'm working on, which was exciting. And then I remembered, I'm supposed to be online at a conference. And so we got online about mid-afternoon. It was going until 2 p.m. So we got on about 11 this morning and thoroughly enjoyed the conference. And they had a 3-hour break. During that time, took a snooze, went for a walk, got our evening walk done. And because they started back at 5 o'clock my time, and they're still going. So I had to leave the conference to come here. And I'm getting fired up and excited. This is a business I've been involved with for years, as a business owner, then as a client, and then as a business owner again. Just started back up again as a business owner. So I'm super, super excited. And it's the Jaeger group. It's with Amway, and the Jaeger group, which is the group I belong to, are having their winter conference this weekend. And so they do in person as well as online. So I've been able to watch online because it's taking place in Louisville, Kentucky, I think it is. It's in Kentucky. That much I can tell you. At least I think it is. But it's really cool because I've been out of that environment for a number of years, since Brad was diagnosed with cancer back in January of 2008. In fact, we're coming up on his anniversary on Tuesday. Will be the 17th anniversary since he was diagnosed. There's been a lot that's happened in that time. So basically, up until he was diagnosed with cancer, I was involved with Amway and as a business owner and distributor, and I had clients and everything else, and absolutely loved it. I love the community. I love the positive feedback that you get from people, the way they edify people, the way they are people of integrity. And I absolutely love that environment. I love listening to the stories, the tapes, I'm dating myself, the tapes, the CDs, the podcasts, the audios, all of those sorts of things. Because you learn so much from other people's stories. And they've got a couple up there right now who I have never heard of before. And I got to hear a bit of them. I got to hear some of them this morning, and oh my gosh, they were hilarious. And now they're on stage telling their story. So this morning it was teaching. Now they're back and they're telling their story, which is absolutely phenomenal. And but I just love the atmosphere. And then they're talking about some of the books you should be reading and all that. And I'm like, these are all the books I still read to this day. Think and Grow Rich, Master Key to Riches, The Go-Getter. What's the new Robert Kiyosaki book? I had it here. There's a new Robert Kiyosaki book that's out. There it is. This one, The Business of the 21st Century. Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki, who's Rich Dad Poor Dad. So this is one of the new books they're getting. I've already read The Go-Getter, and that one I'm starting on that one. But it's just been phenomenal just listening to them quoting from all these different books that they've been reading and different people they've been talking to. And I'm listening to some of these speakers, and I'm like, I've never heard of them. Wow, they've come into the business since I was last at a conference, and they've built their business, and I've never heard of them. But then there's some that come on, and I'm so like, I know those. I remember listening to. I always enjoyed listening to them. So got to listen to some speakers who I haven't heard in years that I've always enjoyed listening to. But I'm just pumped up and fired up. I was pumped up and fired up before I even got online this morning. This week has been an incredible week. It's been a shake-up week the whole week. And then to get this on top of it, and I'm just like, yes. Ooh, the angels are here. My ears are ringing. Hang on. They say when you get a certain tone in your ear ringing, that the angels are letting you know they're present. So the angels are here. They're always here. They're just, I don't know, making themselves known. But yeah, so that's my Shake It Up Saturday, is getting back into going to these seminars and things and listening to the information that's out there. Not a lot of it, some of it has changed in the way they have the process of moving people through the process to join has drastically changed. But there's a lot of stuff that's still the same books, the same tapes, the same recordings telling the stories. It's a very familiar grounding, a very familiar environment to be in, because I've been involved with it for a lot of years, even back when I was back in New Zealand, and I'm getting involved again so that I can start up a business in New Zealand when I go down there, just because I love their products. I absolutely love their products. I use them all the time around the house, and I'm sort of like, oh, when I moved to New Zealand, oh, how do I get started in New Zealand and still give credit to my upline here in the States? So we worked all of that out. And so we're on the path. And so before I arrive in New Zealand, if my parents don't see this, there's going to be some boxes arriving at their place, which will have, which means I won't have to take any toiletries with me, because they'll already be there at my parents' place. I can get my shampoo, my body wash, soap, all of that stuff, my makeup, get that all delivered to their house. So it's there when I get there, which is going to be awesome. Have that order there with all the stuff that I need when I get down there. So I don't have to take any of it with me. I can just get it delivered there from my business in New Zealand. So that's really cool and exciting. But yeah, I love their products. And I always have a bottle of LOC around, which is the very first product they ever came out with. LOC stands for Liquid Organic Cleaner. And you can use it on just about everything. I have even used it to brush my teeth when I ran out of toothpaste and didn't have any spare. They said you could do that, so I tried it. It was okay. The taste wasn't, it was okay. Yeah, it was okay. But I've used it to give Zeffy a bath. I've used it, I've used it as body soap. I've used it as soap. I've used it as cleaner. I always have some with me. I even, in my suitcase, because I always check it, because the little bottle that I have is bigger than 3 ounces. So I always have a bottle in my suitcase for wherever I go. And I always have a cleaning product with me. And if I have to hand wash anything, I just fill up the sink, put a couple of drops of that in there, and I can hand wash, whatever it is I have to hand wash when I'm there. I've been in hotel rooms where they've had a sink, but no dish soap. So I've been able to use it as dish soap at that point as well. So I always travel with some, and you can use it with water or without water. It doesn't matter. But it's a really cool product, and I absolutely love it. And it's one of my favorites, and I never want to be without it. So yeah, there'll be a bottle of that in my box that goes to my parents' place as well. So, but yeah, so I'm fine. Like I said, I was already fired up coming into today before I even got to this. But just to be back in that, even though it is online, I still get that feeling of being part of a community. And they have a very, very good community, people full of integrity, people who just care about each other, who want to be good servants to each other. And that's my whole thing. It's like, how many people my whole thing is I love to help people. So one of my life goals is, how many people can I help while I'm here that makes an impact in their life or an impact in their business? So, the impact in their life is, tracing people, helping people research their genealogy is a way that I can help people discover who they are and where they've come from. And that's through their genealogy. Other ones is I can help businesses with some of their marketing ideas, or coming up with thoughts, and just being a consultant for them, or a coach, whichever way they want to look at it, to help them get their business going. Actually had a guy who wrote a really cool recommendation for me on LinkedIn yesterday, based on a conversation we had yesterday morning. And we only spoke for like 20 to 30 minutes. And he wrote this amazing recommendation on LinkedIn for me. It was very much appreciated. But yeah, it's just giving a lot of value. So that's my goal in life, is to help others live their best life now. That's what Before the Dirt Nap is all about. It's before the dirt nap, live your best life now. How can you live your best life now? How can you work in order to be able to take those dream vacations you want to take? How is it that you can, be a better person personal wise, health wise. It's all about that. So a lot of the times you'll see us, we'll slip in a little piece here and a little piece there about when Nicole comes on, we're talking about the health, because you can have all the time in the world and all the money you want, but if you don't have good health, can you really live your best life now? So we try to bring as much as we can into for you to help you live your best life now, instead of waiting until you retire. I always remember we were at the Peppermill Resort and Casino in Reno, Nevada. And we've been there for a weekend thing. And Brad and I were down at the cafe area. They have this really cool diner area. And we're down there. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching. They have one of these rotating digital boards up there. It wasn't actually rotating. It was one of those digital boards that would change its scenery every now and again. And it was showing these gorgeous places, gorgeous scenery from all different parts around the world. And there was two women and a gentleman sitting next to me who were in their 70s, maybe 80s. And they were looking at the same digital board I was looking at. And I was like, oh, wonder where that is. I'd love to go there one day. So I was dream building. They were looking at as that is a dream that I've let go by. And they were sitting there and going, oh, look at that. Isn't that the Great Wall of China? Or isn't that the da-da-da-da? And they're naming some of these places. They go, yeah. They said, I would have liked to. They said, yeah, we're too old to go there now. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, really? Are you really going to make age a barrier? Are you really going to make age a barrier? They were talking about how they were too old, and one of their regrets in life is they didn't get to travel as much as they wanted to. And I'm like sitting there thinking, age will only be a barrier if you allow it to be a barrier. Your physical health may have a part in why you can't travel, but there are ways that you can travel even with physical limitations. There are ways you can still travel. There are travel professionals out there who specialize in those with limited mobility or mobility issues, and they help them go and still live their best life now and see those places that they want to see. They might have to change things a little bit on how you get there and what you get to see and do, but you still get those experiences that you always wanted. And my heart kind of broke for these three people about how they had kind of given up on being able to travel, being able to go to these places. And they were regretting the fact that they never got to do that. And I'm thinking, and at the time I was very much involved with travel. And I was sort of like thinking, I've got a lot of I had clients at that time who were in their 60s, 70s, 80s. And they were jumping at any opportunity that they could to travel. They were not allowing their age to stop them. And I've met so many people since then as well, who, I have a new friend who was in Bosnia last year. She wasn't a client of mine. It's this friend I met through a mastermind group that I belong to. And she was in Bosnia last year celebrating her 80th birthday. And she was doing these hikes and she was having a blast over there. And she was kind of like on an adventure where she went hiking and doing other physical activities and stuff. And I'm like, good on her. And every now and again, she'll post a picture of her at the gym working out. And I'm like, that is somebody who is not allowing age to stop them. Age is just a number. How you approach it, what is your mindset when it comes to age? It's just a number. I'm 58 and I have a friend who's telling me, oh, I'm too old to do that. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I says, you've got so much life in you and so much, so much that you're capable of physically. Why are you allowing that to stop you? Her dream had always been to do X, Y, Z. And I go, well, why don't you start now? And they're like, oh, I can't do that. And I'm like thinking of all these people where they talk about how, I will give you a good example. On Oprah one time, she had this guy who was in his 90s. He had just learned to read. For his whole life, he had never been able to read. And he had just learned to read. And the first book he read was the Bible. That was what he used to learn how to read in his 90s. There was a guy in DC who was 104 and still ran his photography business. And the only reason I know about this guy who was 104 still running his photography business is because, unfortunately, he was killed in a hit-and-run accident when he was walking home from his studio to his house at 104. Do you think he was letting age rule his life at that point? Hell no. My own parents are in their 80s and they are still as active. They send me text messages every day and they tell me how far they walked. They tell me how far, if they went on a bike ride, how far they rode on their bikes. They've got these awesome bike trails and walking trails in and around the area that they live, which is where I'm going to be living soon. And I can't wait to get out there on these trails with them, whether I'm walking or whether I'm biking, which is why I want to get a place close to them where I'm within walking distance of their house. They would probably consider walking distance, I'm close enough for walking distance if I was at least 30-minute walk away. I want to be a little closer than that. I want to be 10 minutes or less from their house. I don't want to be. We're going to pop out and go to Zephyr. We're going to pop out and see Grandma and Granddad. Come on, let's go for a walk. And 15 minutes later, we arrive at their door. Yeah, no. I want to walk closer. But from their place, they will walk down to the shopping center, down to the library, and that, which is like a good 30-minute walk from their house. And they'll go down there, go to the library, get their books, and walk back home again. And unless they're doing a major grocery shop, they basically just walk about everywhere where they need to go. And I'm just sort of like, I want to be like them when I grow up. Really. And I meet so many amazing people who are older than I am and are so in love with life. So in love with life. They are truly living their best life now. And they could be a great example for people and for those that use age, I can't do that, I'm too old. Says who? You, basically. If I want to go back, I've got a 2-year degree, maybe I'll go and get a 4-year degree. I don't know. I toy with that sometimes. Do I really want to go and get a master's? What would I get a master's? And if I was going to go do a master's, well, first of all, I need to get a 4-year degree because I only have a 2-year degree. I have 3 2-year degrees, but they equal 6. So wouldn't that be a master's anyway? I love to learn. So I do take online classes a lot. I do a lot of online classes. I'm learning AI right now, and doing some online classes to learn AI. And people are like, "Oh, aren't you too old to do that?" And I go, "Why?" I said, "If I don't learn it, I'm going to get left behind." And it's part of business plans these days is how they can incorporate AI into their business and get it to help with marketing and help with videos and all of this sort of stuff. There's so many uses you can use AI for right now, that it doesn't interfere with your creativity and stuff. I have conversations almost on a daily basis with ChatGPT. Like I'll get in there and go, okay, this is who you tell it who it is today, whether it's a marketer, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a genealogist. So that ChatGPT is then in the mindset of, I'm coming from this angle of being a genealogist. And I will go, okay, I will actually have a brainstorming session with ChatGPT. Like I will tell it what I'm thinking about doing. And, here's some of the ideas that I've got to approach it this way. What ideas do you have? And it'll come up with a list of ideas and things. I'm going, I don't like that one. Let's not do that one. And I'll tell it, don't do this one. And I said, now what if we incorporated this one with this one? How would that look? And it would come up with a scenario for that. So I actually use it on a creative basis where we go backwards and forwards, brainstorming with an AI program. I don't have Brad to brainstorm with anymore. I used to go into the living room and I'd plop down on the seat and go, I've had an idea. And you could see the look on his face was like, aha. And then he was sort of like, do I need to listen to give feedback or do you need me to listen just so you can brain dump? And I'm going, I'll have to let you know on that one. Which meant I was going to have his attention to listen. Because if I told him I was just doing a brain dump, he would space out a little bit. But if I told him I wasn't decided yet, then he would have to pay attention, because if I decided that I needed his feedback, he needed to know what I had to say. So I got around his trying to make it look like got around him trying to look like he was paying attention, to the point where he was and I was like, are you listening to me? And he go, yep, I heard everything you said. And he'll repeat back just what I just said, not what I'd said before that. So I learned to say, I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know. So he had to pay attention. But, we'd go backwards and forwards with ideas and ideas around. And so now I'm kind of doing this with an AI program, because it's somebody, and it's people say, oh, why don't you give me a call when you have an idea? I says, it's when the moment hits. I need to talk to somebody right there and right now. And if I called you and you're in the middle of an appointment or on a call or something, I could lose the train of thought. I could lose the momentum with that idea. And I get it. And they totally get it. So I sit there and I sit down with ChatGPT and we have a conversation backwards and forwards. And yes, you can have a conversation. My friend Teza does these podcasts where she actually she will interview ChatGPT and have it come back as a voice, which is the coolest thing. Like she sat there and did this whole thing about AI and use in business. And she interviewed ChatGPT. And I was like, that's brilliant. So there's all sorts of stuff that you can do with AI now. And you can do it so it's, you still got to have some human interaction with it. I can get it, there's programs I can put my videos into and have it chop it up into shorts. I can have it transcribed, which saves me a lot of time. I can have it write pieces for me, but then I go back and I edit it. And like, it'll write a thing for me and I'll go, read it and go, yeah, that sounds pretty good, but I need to make it sound more like me. So I then go in and make some edits into it so it sounds more like me. And but it's given me, I use it as a foundation. And then I can go and create stories from it. I've had it analyze some of my digital art. So some of my digital art that I've created, I really need to have a story to go with this. So I'll drop it into ChatGPT and go, describe this image for me. And with the description it comes out, I'm sort of like, that would be a really cool story. And so then I say, okay, take this piece here and I want character arcs. I want plot outlines. I want the chapter outlines with, summaries for each chapter and everything. So I've got all of this stuff already there. It's a lot of sci-fi stuff, which I know absolutely nothing about, which is pretty cool because sci-fi is usually made up of whatever it is you want to be. So it seems, you can have your own planets, you can have your own spaceships, and they can do this and it can do that, and nobody can argue with you. Although I will read a book about writing about sci-fi just to make sure there aren't too many boundaries. But I've got these books that are all lined up. All I've got to do is just go in and it's got the plot summaries written for me. So all I've got to go and do is add in my creativity and create the stories based on these plot outlines for each. Like I've got chapters all set up and these are the chapter summaries. And now I've got to go and put in there what happens in each chapter and have it flow into the next one. So there's all these sorts of different ideas that have come up in the AI world where I can now go in and put in my creativity on that and use their prompts are there as my cues for writing. So they become my writing prompts. That's what I was trying to get out of there. So my book series that I've been sitting on for a number of years just might actually get written. Especially when I go in and I put in, here are my characters, here are the situations, here are the I want it to start with this and I want it to end with this, but I'm not sure how to do this piece in the middle. So there's a lot of human interaction with me and ChatGPT. So if you hear about me using ChatGPT, there's a lot of interaction. And I have found out within Genealogy that there are some images that you can upload with handwriting on them and ask ChatGPT to translate. To transcribe the handwriting in the pieces. So if you've got like a death certificate, you can upload the image into ChatGPT and say, "Can you please transcribe this? Transcribe this for me." And it does. There are some things you still have to watch with it, but overall, so I haven't tried it yet. But a lot of people are telling me that it actually does a really good job. So I'll give it a go one day. When I get one that I can't read, then I'll go do it. But so. This Shake It Up Saturday this whole week has led up to me being very creative this week, having a lot of creative juices coming out, and planning all these different things. And I've had a couple of people this week that I've been able to do like a brain dump on them when they're sort of like, oh, well, with our business, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I'll go, okay, that sounds really cool. What if you did this and this as well, or did this instead? And so, they've all been taking notes and ideas and things like that. So, and then I get to mingle with. They have an app that they're using, and you can, and everybody's typing comments in there as we're going through the things. You can interact with people who are there in person or people who are online. They're all in the same chat area on the app on the phone. For the conference. So it's really, really cool. And some people are like typing in quotes that somebody had just said on stage. Which has been really cool. And the cool part is I can go back and watch the pieces I missed last night, the pieces I missed this morning, and rewatch what I've already watched today. So I'm super excited about that. But it's just been a very good, it's actually not just a Shake It Up Saturday, it's been a Shake It Up week. And I've been loving it. So my question to you is, has anything shaken up your day? Have you done anything out of routine today? Have you had a shake up week as well? I mean, that's been my week this week. It's been able to help people live their best life now. And that brings me the most joy right now, is helping people live their best life now. In whatever form that is. So, and currently I have people, I'm going to tell you, I'm having the best time selling stuff online. Just some of the conversations that come through. I've got 8 people interested in an over the bed table. So it is a table, like if you think of the hospital, in the hospital room where they have those tables that come over the bed, I have one that goes over the bed and can be extended from a twin size mattress to a California king mattress. And you can adjust the height on it as well. And it's been sitting online for like 3 weeks. And all of a sudden in the last 2 days, I have had like about 10 queries on that one table. I'm just like, this is nuts, but it's really good. And somebody's supposed to be coming in it tomorrow, although she's not, she's ghosting me right now. So I'm not sure if that person's going to get it. So I'm just going to go to the next person. And I'm telling people, this is where you are on the, I've got a wait list going. I've got somebody coming on Sunday who's going to pick it up. If they no show, you will be my first, second, third, fourth, or fifth person to contact regarding this. So if you are serious about this, let me know, and I will, and if they don't let me know that they're serious about it, they kind of get bumped down the list a little bit. But if they are serious about it, they get put near the top. So I'm just like, tell me how serious you are about this. And I had one woman contact me today who wanted to come and pick it up today. And I says, no, I've promised this person that I will hold it till tomorrow. If they don't show up, you will be my first call, because her husband just had surgery and she could do with a over the bed table like that. So that may go tomorrow. So I've already got rid of the dog crate, and what was the other thing? Oh, the baby stuff that I had. That was bowls and utensils and different sippy cups and bottles. So I got rid of them, got rid of the dog's crate. Still got the pack and play. Still got the stroller. Got golf clubs. I'm going to talk to the neighbors, see if they still want my golf clubs. But I've got Brad's golf clubs to sell, so I've got to go researching his golf clubs. And when I put his golf clubs out to sale, for sale, I have to then turn around and remind people that these are extended shafts on there, and the person who owned these was 6'5". So this is a specific type of golf club for somebody who is of a certain height, because all the shafts are extended, so somebody who was 6'5" could use them. So it'd be interesting to see if we get those going. What else do I have out there? I've got lamp bases. I've got folding chairs I haven't put up yet, indoor and outdoor. And then I've got all the inside electronic stuff. But there's a whole bunch of stuff going up on sale. But anyway, there'll be more going online tomorrow. Yes. Anyway, with that, I'm out. I got to go get back to my conference, because I just hear the speaker I interrupted to come and do this. The next speaker's about to come on stage. So go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Find some way to shake up your day, and find that thing that you want to do that will help you live your best life now. If you need to bounce some ideas off, please let me know. We can set up a time for that. But for now, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And P.S., do not let age be a barrier. He konara.